Jessica OS here, welcome to the channel. Everything you think you know about what turns a woman on is probably wrong, and it's not your fault. The media, movies, even your buddies have sold you a broken version of reality. Today I'm going to cut through that nonsense. Now, if you've ever been friend-zoned, ghosted, stuck in a relationship where intimacy just died, you're about to understand what happened. Today, I'm diving into the actual science of female desire, not pickup tricks, not dating hacks. I'm talking about the real brain-based triggers that separate you from every other guy that she's met. And here's what we're breaking down. 1, the biggest myth about the female libido that's been sabotaging men for decades. 2, the single most powerful driver of female arousal, and it has nothing to do with your abs. 3, the practical desire dials that you can start turning on tonight to completely change your game. Let's jump in. The desire myth. Most men completely misunderstand how female desire works. And like I said, it's not your fault. I mean, you've been taught to believe that women experience desire the same way you do, but that can't be far from the truth. You see someone attractive, your body reacts. It's fast, physical, automatic. It's visual, it's instant, it's primal. So naturally you think, well, if I just look good enough, act confident enough, and say the right things, she'll feel the same way about me. But here's where most men get blindsided, because women don't operate on the male model of desire. For men, attraction tends to be the spark. For women, it's a slow burn. Hear me. Think of male desire like a light switch. One flip and you're ready to go. Female desire, it's a slow cooker. It doesn't happen on demand, it builds over time. And if you don't create the right conditions, it never turns on at all. Let me say that again. A woman's arousal is often a result, not a starting point. Scientists call this responsive desire. That means she doesn't necessarily feel desire until she's already in the context that makes her feel emotionally safe, connected, and intrigued. In other words, her arousal doesn't cause attraction. Attraction creates arousal. So when you try to initiate physically out of nowhere, like going for a kiss too soon, being overly flirty on the first message, or pushing for intimacy before she's emotionally warmed up to you, it's like trying to cook a steak in 10 seconds. It's going to come out cold, dry, completely disgusting to eat. Now, here's the part that you don't realize. When a woman says, "I'm just not in the mood," that doesn't mean she can't be turned on. It means the conditions aren't right. Her environment, her mood, her emotional connection, right? They all act like switches in her brain. If one of them is off, her body literally won't cooperate. And that's why a woman who's completely uninterested one moment can later become wildly attracted to a man who seems to do less, because he unknowingly creates the right context. He's relaxed, he's playful, he's confident without trying. He doesn't force chemistry, he invites it. And that's what flips her internal switches from off to on. So if you ever found yourself frustrated, thinking, well, she just doesn't want me, or she must not be attracted anymore, hold on. The problem isn't that she can't desire you, it's that you're trying to trigger desire the wrong way. You're trying to turn her on like a man. She needs to be turned on like a woman. Her mind needs to be engaged. Her emotions need to feel connected. Her nervous system needs to relax. That's why men who make women melt don't necessarily look like male models, right? They understand rhythm. They understand timing. They understand that the female desire is an emotional process, not a physical reaction. And once you stop rushing, once you stop trying to force her desire, that's when you'll start triggering it naturally. Point 2, the real accelerator. If her body is the destination, her mind is the GPS. Know this, you can't get to her body unless you first guide her mind. Now, I'm not talking about manipulation. I'm talking about the neuroscience of attraction, because biologically, the single biggest turn on in a woman's brain isn't sexiness, it's safety. When a woman feels unsafe, physically, emotionally, even socially, her body will shut down its arousal response. Her brain releases stress hormones like cortisol, and her nervous system says, nope, not right now. Look, you could be the best looking guy in the room, you could say all the right things, but if she can't relax around you, her body will not respond, period. That's why some women can be laughing and flirting with a guy all night and then suddenly pull back the moment he starts to rush things. Now, her body is not rejecting him, her brain is protecting her. So let's clear something up right now. Being a nice guy does not automatically make her feel safe. What creates true safety is stability. A man whose energy is calm, grounded, and consistent. A man who doesn't get rattled when she teases him, tests him, or throws him emotional curveballs. That's the kind of presence her subconscious reads as, yeah, this man can handle me. Think about it. A man's arousal thrives on excitement. A woman's thrives on permission. Permission to feel, permission to be vulnerable, permission to let go of control. When your confidence gives her that permission, that's when her brain will flip that switch. That's when her mind goes, I'm safe and now I want him. Most men mess this up by trying to use logic to create emotion. They try to convince her to like them. But desire doesn't happen through logic, it happens through chemistry. And chemistry is emotional communication. Every tone of voice, every pause, every look, it's data that her brain reads subconsciously. If your energy is anxious, needy, or trying too hard, her body registers that as uncertainty. If your energy is calm, playful, assured, her body translates that as attraction. Remember, a woman's biggest turn-on isn't the man who makes her think he's sexy. It's the man who makes her forget to think at all. The 3 practical desire dials you can turn on right now. So these are dials that you can start turning on tonight that will change the way women respond to you. These dials create context, not just chemistry. Because the truth is, women don't get turned on by random moments, but rather by environments that you as a man create, okay? So let's jump into the first dial, the context of appreciation. So every guy knows how to give a compliment, but few men understand how to connect through one. Telling her she has a great smile, nice legs, pretty eyes, it's fine. But it's basic, it's predictable, it's what every guy before you said. Now, if you want to stand out, you have to go deeper than surface validation. And I preach this a lot on my channel. Real appreciation isn't about flattery, but about recognition. It's noticing what most men overlook. So try this instead. Hey, I love how passionate you get when you talk about your goals. Or, you have this calm confidence about you. I noticed it the moment you walked in. Now, that kind of language bypasses her ego and touches her identity. It tells her, I see you, not just what you look like. And the thing is, when a woman feels seen, she'll start to open up. Her guard will drop, her eyes will soften, her energy would shift. Because now, you're not another man looking at her. You're the man who's understanding her. So stop complimenting what she shows the world. Start appreciating what she hides from it. That's where her attraction truly lives. Dial 2, the context of anticipation. Desire thrives on delay. And this is where most guys get it wrong. They rush the process. They show too much interest too soon, text too much, move too fast, you name it. Anticipation, though, is the key word here. For women, her brain releases dopamine when she can't quite predict what's going to happen next. That's why foreplay doesn't start in the bedroom, but starts in the mind. A flirty text that leaves room for imagination, a whisper in her ear that's more suggestion than statement, a long pause before answering a question, just long enough for her to feel the space between you. That space is oxygen for her desire. It builds emotional tension, the kind that makes her think about you when you're not even around. Now, that doesn't mean play games or manipulate. It means pacing yourself. Let moments breathe. Let silence work in your favor. Because when you don't rush to fill every gap, you give her imagination time to do the work for you. Dial number 3, the context of competence. A man who's competent signals something primal. I can protect, I can provide, I can lead. That doesn't mean you need money, status, or a fancy title. It means you handle things, you make decisions, you take action, you solve problems without drama. When a woman watches you navigate life with capability, whether that's fixing something broken, staying calm under pressure, leading people with quiet authority, the subconscious reads that as stability, and stability makes her body feel safe. And that's the moment her attraction will shift from curiosity to craving you. Because competence is masculine proof. It tells her, you're safe with me. And when she feels safe, she can finally surrender her control. That's the deepest form of desire. So let's tie it all together. Appreciation builds emotional connection. Anticipation builds sexual tension. Competence builds psychological safety. If you master these 3, you won't need to guess what turns women on. You'll be living it. Let's recap. Female desire isn't a switch, it's a system. It's emotional, biological, psychological. So stop chasing instant reactions and start cultivating the context. When you create safety, spark her mind, build anticipation, and embody competence, you stop trying to turn her on, and you become the man she can't turn off. Jessica OS here. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, smash that like button and don't forget to turn on all notifications so you get notified whenever I post. Catch you in the next video. Cheers.